مرحبا، مرحبتين، أهلًا، أهلين خنين أهلين، وأهلا وسهلا فيكم كمان مرة تانية to these videos where we're learning how to read and write بالعربي. Today we have a very easy, which doesn't happen many times بالعربي, a very easy and short set. Ready? But today we're going to learn the last letters that do not join بالعربي from the شمال. So remember we've learned already two letters that did not join from the شمال. They only joined من اليمين and they were the ألف والواو. Today we're going to learn the rest of the letters that do not join from the left, which means that most letters بالعربي join from both sides and therefore change shapes a lot. خلينا نشوفهم. فأول شيء عنا the letter دال. The letter دال is like this. If you think about it, it looks like that piece of the D flipped, right? So you can identify it better. The letter دال is the D بالعربي. If the letter dal has a dot on top, is the letter the. Like the sound flies create when they fly and bother you. Mm. This the, very easy to pronounce, is actually the letter in which ustad, teacher, finishes. Ustad. Now, not all Arabic accents are going to pronounce the as a the. Instead, many Arabic speakers are going to pronounce it as a d, so without the dot, or as a z, which we're going to see now. This different pronunciation depends on the accent of the speaker. تمام? So there would be people saying ustad, ustad, ustaz. For Spanish speakers, if you notice the word ustad pronounced with a d, from here is where the word usted in Spanish comes from. We have the letter R. The letter R, unfortunately, now that I said about not learning Spanish, it's pronounced like the R in Spanish. It's a strong R. تمام? R. ماشي? So we have the R, and if the R has a dot on top, is the letter Z. Z. So we saw just now the, a letter that is pronounced like the annoying sound that flies create when flying. Z. And like the Z is pronounced like the sound of bees when flying. Z, z, z. تمام? The letter Z, we have it in many words in Arabic, like Za'atar, Aziz, a very common name. Tamam? Is a Z. It's easier to pronounce, and therefore it is going to be pronounced in the Arab words. But if you notice, we have the letter the. The letter the. We just said that the letter the, ustad, is going to be pronounced like a d or like a z, like this bees sound. Z. We have now already two letters that can be pronounced differently depending on the accent. Just now we learned the that can be pronounced like a d or like a z, depending on the accent. But we had already learned a letter like this, that was the letter th. The letter th would be pronounced like a t and directly written as a t or like a s, depending on the word, not the accent. So there were going to be people saying مثلا, and some Arabs saying مثلا, and then there were going to be people saying مثل, and the same people that say مثلا, they would be saying مثل with a T. So it depends on the word, not on the accent. With the case of the letter the, it depends on the accent. There are people that say أستاذ, أستاذ, أو أستاذ, أو أستاذ كمان ممكن. تمام؟ طيب؟ ماشي؟ So it's an easy set of letters, but the different accents makes it a little bit complicated. Let's see real quick how to write them. So we are going to start with the letter D. Remember the letter D looks like that part of the D, but flipped. So like a C, really. It's also a short letter. It's almost the same size as the B. تمام? The letter D can only join, and all of this set really can only join from the yamin. So it's just going to keep its shape, but with a longer line. If the letter D had a dot on top, it was the letter Z, like ustad, teacher, which could be pronounced as a D directly or as a Z, depending on the accent. Then we also had the letter R that is going to look like the D, but a bit longer. Okay, so imagine this is the D, this is the R. Okay, the R is longer. It's the same, the R can only join from this side, therefore, when it's joining, it's going to look the same, but with a line joining it to the letter in front. If this letter has a dot on top, it is the letter Z, transcribed as a Z, Z, E-A, this one here. تمام مشي طيب okay هيك وهيك. Let's practice them. Let's try to write a word سوا. يلا. Let's write the name of one of my favorite ورزازات. تفضلوا. Try to stop the video, try to write it down, and when you're ready, hit play. تمام طيب مشي. Did you do it? If you did it, it may have looked a bit weird. صح؟ ليش؟ Let's do it really quick. We have here واحد اثنين ثلاثة أربعة خمسة ستة 6 letters that do not join from this side. What does this mean يا حبيبي? I don't need to check more. I don't need to do takes and X's. خلاص, if none of them join from these sides, all of this part of the word is not going to join. And this one either, because it cannot join from here, because this one is not allowing it. And there is nothing here to join to, so none of these letters are going to join together. War, za, zat. طيب, these may also happen بالعربي. I know we have words and cities as beautiful as Ouarzazate. If you go to Al Maghreb and you are wondering where to visit, I really, really recommend this city. تمام? Ready for our last exercise? I want you to try to write this super useful sentence بالعربي. بدي بيرة. Taking into account that this is a short vowel and بس. يلا جربوا. Try. Stop the video, try to write it, and when you're ready, hit play again. يلا. So we have the B with a short vowel A. Again, it could have been this, it could have been this. I usually write it with the kasra. Now it's true that nobody says بدي, بدي. I've heard more, so it's probably with a fatha, but I'm gonna keep the kasra because nobody here is judging. بعدين we have a double D. Many of you probably wrote this. بدي. بدي. بدي is the verb to want or to need بالعربي, so we're going to be writing it quite a lot and we better write it correctly. This is not how we're going to write it. What happens in Arabic when we have a double letter? When we have a double letter in Arabic, we're not going to write the letter 2 times. Instead, we're going to use a special character that we call the Shadda. A Shadda is a tiny but. that is drawn on top of letters, and basically what it does is it jumps on them. It's tiny but quick jumping on them. And by jumping on them, it doubles its sound. So the shadda is basically a diacritic mark, just like short vowels, right? And it's written on top of them, like the fatha, the dhamma, or al kasra. Now, what it does is it doubles the sound of the letter that is underneath it. But it doesn't necessarily need to be just a consonant, it could also be a vowel. A good example of this is the word barra. B-r-r-a. Barra. Barra. And the contrary of barra. Jua. So in the case of barra, the shadda is doubling the R sound. So we are not saying bara, we're saying barra. And in the case of jua, the shadda is doubling the sound of the u. So we're not saying jua, we're saying jua. If you notice, it's not really doubling the sound. What the shadda does is create an effect as if my lips were stuck together and they couldn't let go. Barra, it's harder to see, but in the case of jua, it's as if my lips jua. If I got a little bit electrocuted and I couldn't let go. Jua. Bed. Beddak. ماشي. It's a millisecond where my lips are sort of stuck together. The shadda, we're gonna go back to it with the exercise here, but before we continue, the shadda is a diacritical mark. It's written on top of letters, but it doesn't mean that it takes the spot of the fatha, the kasra, or the dhamma. لا, the shadda can be definitely accompanied by a short vowel as well. So we can see the shadda with the fatha on top, the shadda with the kasra beneath, and the shadda with the dhamma on top. A good example of this is the word بي. بي يعني البابا بالعربي. بي. If we want to say their dad, we would say بيٌ. So we can see بي on, and the O on top, the dhamma on top of the shadda. بيٌ. تمام? So in the case of the verb to want or to need بالعربي بدي أو بدي, we're going to write the shadda that is going to double the sound of the d and then the ya. شو بدي؟ بدي بيرة. B joining the E. B. The R not joining because the R cannot join from this side. It could be another letter, but we're going to write it with the alif. ما أنا بدي بيرة. تمام؟ فيا حلوين, quick recap of what we saw today. We have 4 new letters: the, the, ra, za. Though the can also be pronounced like a the or like a za, depending on the accent of the speaker. All of these letters belong to the group of letters that cannot join من الشمال. يعني we already have all of the letters that cannot join من الشمال, which are these ones here, along with the alif والواو. وخلاص وبس. Those are the letters that are not going to join from here. The rest of the letters بالعربي join from both sides. بعدين نحن كمان تعلمنا إنه في a sort of mark like the fatha, the dhamma, or al-kasra that is called a shadda. The shadda is a mark that is written on top of both consonants and vowels like barra or jwa to double the sound of the letter. This doubling effect, what it's going to create is as if my lips stuck together when pronouncing that vowel. The shadda can be used in isolation, so without any vowel on top or beneath it, مثلا with the word barra, which is just on top of the R, and it can be topped by a short vowel, like by a fatha, a kasra, أو dhamma, like in the example بيٌ. Again, if you want to practice this a little bit more, I recommend you check our webpage and download our book where you can practice all of these for all eternity because there are a lot of exercises with the corrections also, so you don't have to comment on this video like, "Hi, I have no idea what I'm doing." No, the book comes with corrections as well, and you can practice a little bit reading and writing بالعربي. If you think you're okay with it, or خلاص, you want to start a new set, go check the next video.